Hey, muy buenas noches to everyone. I hope everybody's doing well, blessed, and enjoying family. Before I start with my story, I would like to, como siempre, agradecerles a todos for all your kind words, prayers, and just for everything you guys express or send my way. Do know, that from the heart, se los agradezco. Gracias. Now to get into the story, well, I want to talk about my younger homie. This just happened like literally days. I was on the phone today with his jefita, and at first I was like, I was hesitant to speak about it, but then again, it's a perfect example of what I've been putting on here since I came on here, and just how camarada's life or a sureño's life in reality have no room for the causa, so the M calls it now. But anyways, allow me to please get into it. Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna go ahead and just talk about my homeboy Blacks, Negro. It's my younger homie, and when I mean younger, really younger, I was the one that started my clica. I'm not gonna say neighborhood, but clica. And through the time I was busted, homeboy came up and he ended up doing some way time and he got deported, right? So it came a time where I eventually came out towards Mexico, as you guys have heard my past stories, it we got in touch through other camaradas, and I eventually, I pulled them with me. And yes, I know, it's I was one of those, instead of helping my gente, I was digging a bigger hole, which I admit, I have never stated that, you know, um, I'm clean of guilt, because I'm not. At this moment, I really thought it's really where my mind was, so to me it was, what better thing than to have, another camarada from my barrio there in the mix with me, right? Which is dumb now that I think about it. Instead of looking for something positive, I drag along someone that I should have been a camarada to, carnal. But anyways, I brought him with me, and he was here with me for a while, wiggling, doing things, and at this time we were struggling down in Oaxaca. So, you know, by the time that things ended up unfolding in Oaxaca, which I will get into, I ended up back in prison, and that homie, he was on the outs, and he was constantly in touch. We were in touch, and I know his jefita from my times, starting the block, and anyways, we were in touch, and his thing was he wanted to go back, and it was all due to the new era, the new game bang era on the streets, and if you have heart for your neighborhood and you start slowly dying out, then you start feeling some kind of way, and when your mind is in that stage, you start to you start thinking that you could go back and really make a change for your neighborhood. I say this because at one point is where my mind was at. It's actually what really took me down the spiral of what I went through. Was always in the system, always wanting to do things to the fullest to make sure my neighborhood got put in the right people's ears and making sure my neighborhood, it was present. And which in reality nowadays, the best thing you could do for your neighborhood is to keep it away from all this politics and having this type of individuals get up in it and destroy it. It's just facts. It's just when they talk about water down, everything's watered down. And anyways, back to my homie. So he decided to come back across that border, and of course, me being the stupid one that I was, I tend to cheer him on, like, go ahead, homie, make sure you get back and you put the smack down and you let everybody know you're there. But at this time, I had a different mentality. It wasn't no more about sur and norte. Because once you hit the system, that, as much as people talk about rivalry, being rivals still inside, yeah, to a certain extent, right? But it's more about us eating each other out. And so, anyways, you know, those were my words. You get back and you do your thing, and I'm gonna back you up. Whatever that, whatever. When it comes to putting weight out there, when it comes to setbacks, whatever, I'm gonna be there. Which I was. And I brought him along a pili. Certain pili that has been in the city for a long time. And as a paisano pili, from El DF, and I seen him more about looking out for raza. Maybe because it was a paisano, but he had both angles of control, and he had that better, a wider look at things. Anyways, so I did that. Homeboy got involved. Because once it became them, of course, I backed out and let them do their thing, right? And things unfolded. I guess certain paisa owed him some money, and sent homeboy to go ahead and take care of that. And to the thought, my little homeboy went out there, took care of it, and afterwards got on the whip, came back, and went over him just to make sure. And anyways, that's not important. Is he took care of it. And then a day after, it's a camarada, that he had messed up again due to dope, and he got sent to go ahead and handle that, and he did, which is why he eventually got busted, right? But when he was in county and stuff, I was still out there doing my BS, and my thing was, just keep your head up, homie, and keep pushing. Don't let no numbers take you down. Stupidity, it's what I guess what was taught to me. I was doing exactly the same thing. And homeboy did his thing. He went up in the system, and he was still in touch. He was still doing things for Chino. For my left, and everything that I was hearing, everything was cool. And even though my young camarada knew my decision and knew the whys, and we're still in touch. We used to three-way, and his jefita used to call me, and it was all love. I ain't getting his business, and he respected mine. And at the end of the day, he knew, I wasn't one of those that got on the stand and hurted anyone. And I still to this day would not be, you know. And I guess in a sense, I always felt that guilt trip. He always came to me for guidance, and I was a bad camarada, I guess, where I should have been a righteous one. And anyways, things unfolded to the point, like I mentioned, he was still in touch with the Billy, and just recently, they ended up, they ended up grabbing him, and he had things hooped, and they put him in potty wash, so he got caught with a little bit of, of carga and a couple papalotes, and eventually got a Chino cell hit, and even though there was nothing wrong on the end of this young camarada, he basically got told on, and squad came and gaffed him up, and he had shit up his butt, Of what I heard, it was supposed to be a piece and some jales, so squad came, and as everyone knows, they put that jumpsuit on, they tape you, and whatever you're carrying is gonna come out, So there was no negligence to him, and again, it repeats himself, after sacrificing his entire life, man, cause he's a young bato, and he went back and he done proved that he was there to be trusted and to be loyal, He gave everything and stayed in the game and was keeping solid, inside, But just this one move, even though everything surfaced it and it was nothing like negative, it still got a Billy's pad tossed up, And that's all it took for Chino's loyalty towards this young camarada. He put him on the lista, and you know, homeboy came out to the group yard in the Oyo, and they hit him. They hit him once, and I didn't know this, and just recently he tried to come back out because he was a YA baby, so he didn't have that in him. So he came back out, but this time he saw they take off on me, I'm taking off again. So he came out trapped, and he defended himself, right? And basically that was it. He's done. He had the Billy cell hit. They didn't find nothing, they didn't take nothing from him, but they still got the Billy's hit, home pad hit, his cell. And I think it's just messed up the way the authority that, or the power, as someone said earlier in the comment, that this these individuals are taking, or think they could take, which in reality they can't, because it's constantly being done, and ain't nobody saying or doing anything, And the reason I even come on here and speak about it is because, I guess I feel guilty, Like I said earlier, I was talking to a Jefita, and she don't know what's going on. She's just basically telling me qué puedo hacer, en qué puedo ayudar. Tell me, he landed on the hospital twice, and what can I tell her, I'm not gonna lie to her, and I'm not gonna tell her what's gonna happen, cause that's almost Jefita, and it's not my place to tell her, it's just not, but the guilt trip hits, that, you know, we walk through our career thinking that we're doing something positive when in reality, we're just, you know, guiding youngsters to something that we know it ain't there. I seen someone earlier in the comments talk about, the fact is that everyone that ends up there is because he's out there politicking and chasing each other's throat. I agree with him to a certain extent, that's part of politicking. But not everybody's like that, man. Like, whoever knows me from the system can tell you, man, I am politic. You know, of course, if I was ordered to remove someone because somewhere along the line they weren't doing things right, then, but other than that, but, this was an eye opener, that, I guess I got so brainwashed that it's just, I was one of the many that instead of helping, I was hurting. It is why now stronger than ever, I hope that my message, my story could hopefully do some positive. Here's my little homie Blacks, that he was down here with me instead of me telling him, to keep away because I was seeing everything that was happening. He was hurting for feria, so come with me, we're just gonna be doing this, and you tell her, well, hey, baby, we're gonna be like this, and that. It's like telling them we're gonna go to Disneyland, So, but I just thought I'd share this with you guys, how you could do 1,000 things. I'll say it again, and it'll never be enough. The minute you stop being useful for them, they're gonna look for any excuse to remove you and have somebody else take your place. Someone that could be more useful. My homeboy was useful on the streets, moving dope, taking care of business when it had to be taken care of. Once he hit the system, then he became a headache that a small thing as they told on him, and that's how I linked back. And now we're gonna use this to politic against him and remove him. And there he went. I don't know what he's gonna do. I really hope that I can't even I can't even say what I hope him do. By me saying to hold tough and not do this or do that. IGI obviously knows that who he was under, so to even get to a yard where he could program, he's gonna have to go, that nasty route. And I'm not gonna advise him to do that. But what type of vato would I be again if I advised him to do life in the whole, right? Because he's doing life. He picked up life for this individual. But it's just one out of many stories on how, they're above everybody. Raza for them means M. And camaradas, sureños. I look at the war shield I have on me, and that ain't no warrior shield, man. I was being told what to do 24/7, and that's just keeping it real. But anyways, mi gente, to change notes a little bit, Friday I went through the procedure that I mentioned to you guys I was gonna go through. I went up in there, and the thing is, my heart had only 12% working, and two of my arteries weren't functioning, so they wanted to inject something to force my heart to see if there was movement, to see if there was a way to rescue them, and so I did, and something terrible, man. When there's three hoses and they force them to see if there's movement and there's not. So that one that's working, you guys just can imagine what I went through. But I thank my higher power, which in my case is Jesus, that it turned out good. At least I'm here. The bad news is that we found out that my heart attack and thrombosis in April did kill those, so they have to cut open the wreck and you know make new disguide them, or I don't know, you know reroute them through a different way. So they told me to really think about it, because it's not very high percentage that I'm actually gonna see through it. So I don't know. I get on my knees every day, man. Not to be religious on here, but just for cleariness. I want to know what to do. Man, I got my liver failing, my lungs with thrombosis. My arteries constantly closing up. I need a shot regularly in my belly button to open them again, and my heart. I'm semi-paralyzed from the two brain attacks that I got. The cancer, they're keeping it ashore, but they're not attending it, So I really don't. You know what? May there let it be God's will, and they just write it out. But I never been a quitter, and I don't want to do that till this day. If I go, thank you God, and if I don't, thank you God for the time that I'll be here. But anyways, dispensen if I sound todavía todo torombolo, and ando un poco aguitado, like I guess I guess when you're up in the mix, we're so blindsided in what we're doing that we don't even realize the dumb stuff that we do, and this is coming from somebody, that got life as a teenager, did some stone stuff in there, got an opportunity to get out, get pushing stupid, but you know, this was a really good homie, youngster, it's 28, and threw his whole life away, and now some individual said he was taking room and he can't even do his time where he should do his time as a soldado, right? But anyways, what they said, I have medical slips that have to do with everything that's happening with me, and I will be sharing it with you guys pretty soon, and I just want to be as clear as possible. You guys have been great with me, and I appreciate every single one of you. But with this said, mi gente, I hope everybody has a well rested night. Please stay true to yourself and loyal to your loved ones. Again, buenas noches.